Day 33 of 1 hour plus of meditation every single day. Where to begin? There was a little piece of me that didn't want to make this video right now because I don't feel happy, skippy, and all positive and inspirational, and that's why I'm doing it. Because that's not what it's about. I really want to just keep showing up to this practice and be very real with what's actually coming out of it. So, what I'm realizing and feeling today is very, very raw. I don't want to say it feels hard to articulate this to people who possibly have not been doing the meditation as well. Because it seems kind of far out if you don't do it. I would have thought it was. Well, just a little bit. Like intellectually I could understand, but now actually doing it, it's very, very different than what the mind thinks. I am just full of emotions lately. It's been about 10 days since the last video I made, and like radical, it's just, I've heard this said before from people, but you know, it starts slow and you're going a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, and then stuff just really, like, probably a couple days ago is when I really started seeing that like skyrocket of just different awareness. And I think the main thing I'm noticing is that problems are not looking like problems anymore, and I'm not processing them the same way. And I don't want to say it's gone completely, it isn't, but there's much less mental chatter. You know how sometimes, like, something happens, you know, say you get in a fight with your boyfriend or girlfriend and they say something and you get angry about that thing, and then in thinking about that, you're not just angry about that thing, you're angry about everything that happened in the past and what they could mean and what it might mean and all that different stuff. That is what's sort of falling away with everything. I'm more able to just feel the feelings that are in my body, feel the sensations and where those are connected, without having a mental story about what they mean or what they are or why it happened or what's going to happen. It's just an actual feeling in my body. And a lot of it is just releasing. I'm having a lot of tears come up of just crying, and it's like an open-hearted rawness, but it feels so good actually, because, I mean, there's a difference. There's like the pain when we're in total resistance to the pain, and then there's the pain when we actually just feel it and it opens us up. And that's what I noticed. For me, I noticed two very distinct versions of pain that I go through. There's the pain of resistance when I'm avoiding, suppressing, not wanting to feel something, and it's very heavy. I feel like physically bloated, and just like stuff is sluggish and stuck and blocked and just kind of ugh. And then there's pain that comes with some breakthroughs and acceptance of, you know, realizing a deep truth, or something happens, and even though it's painful, it feels freeing at the same time. And it actually, when I'm able to really let it in, it opens my heart even more. And it feels amazing. So I guess that's another part of it, is understanding more and more that happy and sad are not opposites. They're different judgments of the same energy, if that makes sense. And an example I've found in my own life, I think I maybe even have talked about this before, is, you know, the action of crying out of deep, deep grief and crying out of sheer joy are exactly the same thing. It's just the mental story you're in for each one that's different, but that's actually the same. And same with excitement and complete nervousness. Same energy. It's just one you're happy about and one you're not, and depending on what you're making up in your mind about it. So it feels like there's just a lot of external story that's falling away, and as it seems like my awareness is expanding of these things, and the times where I feel like I can tell when I'm really, really in my head about something much quicker and shift into my heart a lot faster. And not because I'm trying to, it's not like I'm forcing myself to do that. It's just happening. It's like, oh, and then that kind of releases and drops, and I move into a place of just more acceptance of what is. And that's what it feels like is different. There's no more fighting. I'm no longer trying to not feel sad or not feel angry and avoiding situations that may cause it and things like that. It's just really letting the fullness of every experience show itself to you. And it's amazing because everything just seems to be flowing so much. That's another part of it. There's so many amazing things that are happening, and people that are showing up, and things going on with this project and business that's just moving faster and faster. And I feel like that's all a byproduct of this practice and the awarenesses and the insights and the integration of those things that's coming out of it. So yeah, I don't know how much you guys will really be able to take from that experientially without doing this. That's okay. I'm also not saying anybody should or need to, but I'm certainly going to invite and encourage anybody who is curious to try it. Stick with it. Stick with it for an amount of time and you will see changes. And when you get to that point where you're like, this isn't working, I feel stuck, this hurts, oh my God, my mind won't shut up, it's going crazy. It's working. That's the evidence it's working. So yeah, we'll keep going and I'll keep posting. If anybody else is doing this, keep telling me about your experiences. It's really awesome. There are actually a few people who are and are keeping me updated. That is so cool. So thank you all, everyone who's following this, because it's sort of becoming my space to process this journey on a different level in a different way. And I see new things when I'm able to make this versus when it's just inside of me. So that's really amazing. See you guys next time.